What's up, riders? Happy Independence Weekend. It is actually July 5th. Decided to take a ride. There's Quanah Parker Arrow. Let's check it out. So I didn't get to take a ride yesterday. Brandy is a bicentennial baby, so she turned 50. We didn't do much. Went out to eat and just kind of hung out. And when she was doing some of her chicken stuff, I went and played in the shop, and I was getting the camper ready for my moto camping trip, meeting up Chuck Chops, which is coming up in 2 weekends. I think I have this weekend, next weekend, and then the weekend after is when we meet. So I'm excited for that trip. Anyways, I'm headed down Loop 335 right now. Actually, I'm going to take a little bit of 66. I know I've done 66 eastbound towards Oklahoma City several times. And this time we're going to go westbound and go to Glenrio. I'm wanting to do some filming at Glenrio. It's pretty much just a ghost town. I think there's 1 or 2 residents and 1 shop, which I won't be going into, but you'll understand why when I get there. But it's a cool little town to visit. And anyways, so I hope y'all enjoy the ride. We'll do some music and go from there. So hope to do a little drone footage too in Glenrio. I'm not sure how well you can see it, but that building right there, that is the old helium plant. Amarillo used to be the helium capital of the world. We had a really big reservoir in the region. This is like during World War II. They pretty much, I think, sucked it dry, and plant closed. It's funny, there used to be a sign in front of it that said, no trespassing, all the copper's already been stolen. It has been bought by some individuals who are redoing it, and I think they're turning it into like some luxury condos or something. That sounds pretty cool. I mean, it's some cool old buildings. It's definitely a piece of our history, so I'm glad to see something being done with it. I think they have some farmers markets there as well. Yeah, the future home of Helium Heights. So, man, I hope that works out for them. I really do, because that's a cool building. Buildings, I should say. So as far as me and 66, I don't know that I'm really gonna, I'm not gonna stay on 66 per se. I've done that once before, going all the way to Tucumcari. You can check out that video here. Because it takes a lot of time. I'm actually wanting to get back into town for, see the grandbaby some. But literally 66 runs. It's the access road right next to I-40. And then in fact, there is a section that, there is no 66. 66 is underneath I-40. So you have to take I-40. But this trip, I'm gonna skip Vega. Vega's got a cool little gas station. You can check that out on that video too. And then Adrian is the halfway point for all of Route 66 from Chicago to California. And they have the diner, and really my favorite spot there is Midway Station. These people were very, very nice. I know they've had some issues moving in there. They're from Ohio originally, and their retirement dream was open a place on the Mother Road. So, man, super, super nice people. a cool little station, and it's on my Tucumcari video as well. And there's the Cadillac Ranch. So anyways, y'all enjoy the scenery. There's not much, but I will get the best parts of it, and I'll talk to y'all in Glenrio. Let's put on some music. That used to be a railroad track, and 66 is right on the other side of it. It's just a little two-lane. Yeah, right here at this Happy Trailers, it dead ends. You make a left, and access road is now 66. So we can do 75, 80 on Interstate 40. Or if we were on the access road, we'd be limited to, well, I think speed limit's 55, but I usually do 60, 65, but kind of depending on traffic. I'm hoping to maybe push on to Tucumcari. There's a little stretch in Tucumcari where you get off Interstate 40 that I just love. It's just gorgeous. So I'm hoping to do that. If not, I'm going to cut that out, and you didn't even know that that's a possibility. We're doing 66 on the access road. Glenrio, I think, is a kind of a community. I don't know. There ain't nothing here except for that gas station right there. But yep, there's where 66 merges back in. 40. Guys, we're almost to Glenrio. Here comes the exit. Exit 0 for Glenrio. So it's a kind of neat little stop on 66. So there's a couple of abandoned gas stations over here on this side. I've explored them with my son before. Probably won't stop. I'll just kind of drive through it. Actually, the one time we came, it was an owl kept on flying between the two when we walked from one to the other. Probably really, if you come up in here, watch for bottles and stuff so you don't jack up your tires. This time of year, I definitely watch for rattlesnakes. If you go up in that high brush. All right, let's actually hit the town. There's New Mexico. On my way out of Glenrio, I'll pull over and take a picture of this. Signs everywhere says private property, so I want to be on the other side of the highway. Today we're sitting right on the razor's edge of Texas and New Mexico. Imagine you're rolling down the Mother Road in 1950. The chrome of your bike is catching the desert sun. Your engine is humming and you need a break. You pull into a neon-soaked oasis called Glenrio. Depending on which direction you're coming from, you're greeted by a massive sign that reads either First Motel in Texas or Last Motel in Texas. But if you look around me right now, the neon is long shattered. The roofs are caved in. The only sound is the wind kicking up tumbleweeds across the pavement. This is Glenrio, one of the most iconic, eerie, and legally bizarre ghost towns on all of Route 66. But here's the kicker. Just when everyone thought this town was dead and buried in the dust, a massive wave of cash and controversy brought it back to life in a way nobody saw coming. Let's drop the clutch and dive into how a town goes from a booming haven to an absolute ghost town, and then into a multi-million-dollar modern border anomaly. To understand Glenrio, you have to realize it wasn't built for cars. It was born in 1903 because of the Chicago, Rock Island, and Pacific Railroad. Originally, they called it Rock Island, but eventually someone got creative and combined a Scottish word for valley, Glen, with a Spanish word for river, Rio. Ironically, there isn't a river anywhere near here, just the harsh, beautiful plains of the Llano Estacado. Now look closely at how this town was laid out. The state line cuts right through the middle of it, and the geographical quirk created a logistics nightmare and an entrepreneur's dream. Because of the difference in state laws, Glenrio became the ultimate game of borderline chess. No bars on the Texas side. Duff Smith County, Texas was strictly dry, so a traveler wanted a cold beer, they had to walk across the dirt road over to the New Mexico side to the state line bar. No gas stations on the New Mexico side. New Mexico had a much higher state gas tax. If you needed to fill up your tanks, you filled up strictly on the Texas side to save a few pennies. Even the mail was weird. The train would drop the mail bags off at the depot on the Texas side, and the station master would physically carry them across the border to the post office on the New Mexico side to be sorted. It was a tiny town completely dictated by lines drawn on a map. By the 1930s, the trains started fading, but the asphalt was calling. Route 66 was paved right through the heart of Glenrio. Suddenly, the tiny blip on the map became a crucial midway point between Amarillo, Texas, and Tucumcari, New Mexico. If you've ever seen the movie The Grapes of Wrath, John Steinbeck actually filmed scenes right here in 1938. By the 1950s, the post-war road trip boom hit. Families in massive chrome-laden station wagons and riders on vintage iron flocked down Route 66. Glenrio peaked. It never had more than 100 permanent residents, but it had thousands of people passing through daily. You had the Texas Longhorn Cafe, the State Line Motel, and plenty of service stations pumping gas into the American dream. For a few decades, life was good. The neon buzzed all night long, but the very thing that created Glenrio, the hunger for faster transportation, was about to destroy it. In 1975, the concrete death sentence was finalized. Interstate 40 opened, bypassing Glenrio by just a third of a mile to the north. Think about how brutal that is. A third of a mile, you could literally see the new highway from the front porch of the Longhorn Cafe, but nobody was looking down. Drivers were flying past at 70 miles an hour, completely oblivious to the paradise of neon they were leaving in their wake. Almost overnight, the cash flow dried up, the gas pumps stopped clicking, the owners packed their bags. By the 1980s, the railroad tracks were pulled out of the ground. By the 2000s, the population officially plummeted to zero.
For nearly 40 years, Glenrio sat in total silence. It became a holy grail for urban explorers, historians, and Route 66 enthusiasts. In fact, the empty streets look familiar to you? It's because Glenrio was one of the primary visual inspirations for the ghost town of Radiator Springs in Disney Pixar's movie, Cars. Now let's talk about the present day. If you ride out here expecting total silence, you're in for a massive shock. Because history repeats itself, and once again, state border laws have rewritten Glenrio's fate. While recreational cannabis is completely illegal across the border in Texas, New Mexico legalized it. Seeing an incredible loophole, investors stepped in late 2023. A massive dispensary called the Glenrio Smoke Stop opened its doors right on the New Mexico edge of the ghost town. To say it's thriving is an understatement. We're talking millions of dollars in sales from travelers and plenty of Texans pulling off the interstate just to make a quick legal purchase before heading back. They even went ahead and beautifully recreated the iconic deteriorating first last stop in Texas sign right by the state line. Some Route 66 purists are heartbroken. They feel like the quiet, eerie ghost town magic has been ruined by the sudden influx of modern traffic and security guards. But on the flip side, it's the first active business this town has seen in 4 decades, and the new owners aren't stopping. There are massive developments underway to restore the historic Longhorn Motel, build wellness centers with plunge pools, open a dance hall, and maybe even host rodeos. That is Glenrio in a nutshell. A rich history on the Mother Road with new beginnings in the future. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you're able to make a stop at this historic little town.
We're going to see if I can do this with one hand. I don't have my helmet on because I'm just riding down the road. I will say that dispensary is what's kind of doing a lot of work around here. And we are in New Mexico. We'll give this guy a second. And we'll go to the end and then turn around. So right up ahead is where it turns into Dirt 66. So I'm going to spin around here. I would have loved to see Glenrio back in its glory days. There's a few residents live up in there. The one widow that I'll tell you about on my way out. All right, so that there's the old post office. And then there is a house. Don't know if you can see it. I have it on Zoom already. Right back behind that tree. I'm gonna fly the drone some. I am not gonna walk up there unless I have to because it's pretty snaky. So let's check out some drone footage. So that was kind of Glenrio, except for one little spot we're going to stop at on the way out of town. You know, if you're into a dispensary, a smoke shop like that, stop by, come give them a visit. Like I said, they're really doing a lot to, they just recently updated the sign there, so I don't know what all their plans are. But it's funny, weed's illegal in Texas. So unless you go down Dirt 66, you're going to be in Texas for a little bit with it. So anyways, at your own risk. And then, like I said, there's private property signs. You can't really stop here, but there's an old cafe. And I want a picture of the Pontiac. So there's a real sad story about the Pontiac. If I can find a video of it, I will post it right here. But basically, vet, if I remember right, Vietnam vet, if I remember right, might have been World War II. Anyways, he worked at a convenience store in Adrian, or right outside Adrian, and was shot in a robbery. And the car was brought home, and that is where it has sat ever since. His widow will not sell the car. And anyways, sad story. Like I said, I'll see if I can find a video of it. I'm sure somebody else can tell the story better than me. So I am probably going to regret this, but it's a beautiful day and I feel like riding. So we are going to go into New Mexico. We are going to go into San Juan and jump off there and jump on 66, because that is that's a beautiful ride and I just want to do it. So plus I need to break in these new tires, right? Man, if you are on 66, watch the road. In some sections, they do not take care of it like they do I-40. All right, I'm gonna turn on some music. Let's go into New Mexico. We're almost to San Juan, I'm not sure how to say it. Sanjon. And we'll be jumping off I-40. Now, if you're following 66 and you're kind of jumping on and off I-40, you definitely want to jump off and catch this. It's not a slow road. I mean, it's not 75, 80, but man, it's just beautiful. World's biggest flip-flops here in San Juan. I think you have to make a left. Yeah, down there. And this will take us into Tucumcari, and then we'll turn around and go back. But man, this is some great riding in here. Hope y'all enjoy it. guys. Actually, we're not going to go all the way to Tucumcari. That was kind of hitting my favorite part. See that little valley, which we'll go through on I-40 here. But, woo! That sand got slick. So we're going to head towards home. So that was my Independence Day ride and the Glenrio ghost town. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that drone footage was enjoyable as well. Look, I know I did not buy the most expensive drone. I'm kind of testing it out with the channel, and if we like those elements, I will continue put them on there and maybe upgrade the drone. So if you like that drone, please comment below. I would appreciate it. Let's rate the Independence Day ride.
Brother.
All right, 4 out of 5 brothers. It was a good day. It was a great trip. I really like that stretch between San Juan and Tucumcari through that valley on Route 66. I-40 is kind of I-40. You know, you just set the cruise control, turn up the radio, and enjoy the ride. Okay, as far as my next video, that will be a video about me prepping for my camping trip. So this coming Thursday, I am leaving for Arkansas to meet Up Chuck Chops, and we're going to do a little moto camp. So if you haven't seen his channel, please check him out. Funny guy. Love his channel. When the camping prep video post, I will be back from my trip to Arkansas with Up Chuck Chops. So then after that, we'll start a series of videos about that trip and the camping and the rides and the pig trail. So very excited. I think it's going to be cool. As far as the trip to Arkansas and Up Chuck Chops, I know that those videos are far in the future. If you're wanting to kind of follow us in real time, keep an eye out on my YouTube channel for those shorts, or go to my Facebook channel and I will be posting there as well. Guys, if you like my video, please give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button and the bell so you'll get alerts when I post a new video. I'm also on Facebook. That's the Lano, L-L-A-N-O Rider. Check me out there. Guys, as always, I appreciate you watching, and until the next time, ride safe. I hope to see you out there.